right, let me test the mic. One sec. Shalom. 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 All right. All right, Shalom. Before I begin this lesson, I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash, for giving me the spirit to do this lesson. Lord willing, it's edifying to the elect, whoever they may be. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to you, Akwaf in order, meaning you Israelite sisters that are in order, okay, and only you sisters that are in order, okay. And shalom to you, Israelites that are teaching on the highways and hedges, giving up your body as a living sacrifice, teaching this truth and waking our people up out of their slumber from Christianity, Islam, and all that. All right, so shalom to you, brothers, man, and for your diligence and your service. Shalom to you, Israelites that look like these other nations, but your seed line goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, making you a Hebrew Israelite, regardless of your appearance. Okay, because we're not the black Hebrew Israelites. It ain't about color. Okay, it's about the chosen seed line. Okay, because our nation, our seed was scattered among all nations. Therefore, we look like all nations. Okay, therefore, we're not the black Hebrew Israelites. We're the Hebrew Israelites of the Holy Bible. You won't find the term black Hebrew Israelite in the Bible. Anyway, Salakia for the long intro. I have to do that in my lessons, okay? It's very important because, you know, a lot of people tune in for the first time, never heard of us before. Well, they probably heard of us, but they never really, you know, watched our lessons like that. And it just helps them further understand what we're about. It ain't a color thing. It's very important for us to let people know that and to let them know, you know, who we learn from. Great Millstone. We learn this 100% truth from, and that the name of the Heavenly Father is Yahweh, and the name of his only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, is Yahweh Shai. Those are the true names of the Lord, and the only names that can bring you salvation, pursuant to Acts 4 and 12, as well as many other scriptures. But you see the title of this lesson, it says, when black, and I got it in quotations, okay, when black women, because, you know, really they're Israelites from the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, or Levi, the so-called black women. But, you know, when we say black women, we mean the women of the world that want to be black, that identify themselves as African American and live like black people, black meaning void of light. Okay, so when black women's obsession with the serpent backfires, that's the title of this lesson, because, you know, as of late, you've got yet another case of Eve getting deleted, should I say, by Zaddy, by the serpent, right? Her lover, right? And I just want to speak on that, man. I got a few clips to play in this lesson. It's probably going to be lengthy, so hey, hang in there, bear with me, okay? But it should be a good lesson nonetheless, man, because, you know, I want to just, you know, and I hope a lot of you so-called black women are watching this, okay? You need to snap out of it, man. The hell is wrong with you, okay? But most of you are not going to, because as you're going to see in the clips I play, these women are just absolutely full of pride and can never see the error in their ways, okay? It takes humility for you to humble down and admit you effed up, okay? But in order for you to actually be able to come back to us, you have to be humble. You have to, you know, you have to be in order. You have to be submissive. And, you know, this normally only happens when you get corrected by the Lord, when you come into the knowledge of the truth of the Bible and realize that you have enemies, because our women out here thinking that everybody's their damn friend and that they're able to just date anybody. And, you know, if you're attracted to them, just be with them. And that's not the case, man. We have enemies, okay? You women, you belong to us, okay? You so-called black women, you belong to us. Well, you Israelite women, you so-called blacks, Latinas, and Native Americans. You belong to the Israelites, okay? You're not supposed to be with these other nations, okay? Because for one, if you let that man put a seed in you, that baby is an Edomite, man. You know, if you're a so-called black woman and your lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and you get with an Edomite and you let him put his sperm in you, and then you conceive a baby, that baby is an Edomite, and that baby is going to be destroyed. Okay, so hey, and that ain't the same with us. Us men, we carry the seed of the father. You know, the child is the seed of the father. You know, and you know, if we put our seed in an Edomite woman, that baby gonna come out as Israelite, and it's gonna be saved if we're saved. Okay, so hey, I wouldn't take that chance, Eve. But anyway, without further ado, right, we're gonna get into this lesson. 6 minutes in already, and I'm just running my gums, Salakia, for that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna share my screen, and any of you Akim or Aquafium that are watching and realize that the audio isn't working on any of these clips, or if it just malfunctions in some way, or something goes wrong, or I'm not coming through clear, just let me know on the comment board and I'll see if I can sort that. Because this is a live lesson and anything can happen. And sometimes we do have technical difficulties, right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with this one here, because this is the latest, right? Check this out, man. Yeah. And I hope I don't get a copyright for this, because it does have a bit of music. But, you know, Eve, this is Eve right here, the latest one that got deleted by, you know, the man that she thought, you know, these women think the grass is greener on the other side, go sleeping with the enemy, being a damn bed wench, right? And, you know, she's an attractive woman, you know, a bit of a whore, dressed like a damn whore. Like, why would you go out in public like that? You literally got bra and panties on. Okay. I don't know how this became fashion. But you women have been deceived. You've been beguiled by the serpent yet again. Okay. But this is all the result of feminism, man. We're going to get into that in just a bit. But this is the latest girl that got deleted by her so-called white husband. Oh shoot, I didn't mean to stop it. Play that again. Yeah. 1, 2. Brad's coming for you. Yeah. 3, 4. Black men protect no more. 5, 6. Hold on to your wigs. 7, 8. It's too late. 9, 10. Never wake again.
Divesting gone wrong. Joe McKinn accused of strangling popular soft life influencer Ashley Jenny to death on her birthday. Now I was the first to expose this, but was waiting for more information about this case. Lifestyle influencer.
Salakia, I just realized, Salakia for that. Like I said, these live videos can mess up. I just realized I'm sharing the wrong screen. So let me go ahead and correct that real quick. It won't take 1 second. Actually, hold on. I gotta do that again. 1 sec. Remove that. We're gonna get it right. 1 sec. Let me stop screen. Share screen. Window, that one. And then make sure the audio is on and then share. Boom. All right. All right. We should have it right now. Let me go ahead and check it on my phone real quick. All right. So like I was saying, Eve dressing out like a whore here, man. You know, I don't know how this became fashion. And this is the guy that murdered her, that she thought was the love of her life. Eve thought she came up, man. You know, she thinks the grass is greener on the other side because Jake is under the curses. And Esau, you know, they stole the world And this is why they rule the world, not because they're the rightful rulers. They're the scumbag of the earth that the Lord is going to destroy. They're our enemy. But Eve, you know, being simple, you know, don't know no better. But, you know, she had to learn the hard way in this case. But anyway, let me go ahead and play this.
1, 2, Brad's coming for you. Yeah. 3, 4, black men protect no more. 5, 6, hold on to your wigs.
All right, Salakia. All right, we gonna get this right. I gotta share my entire screen. I try to do it because people are giving me advice telling me not to share the entire screen, and it obviously ain't working out, right? But to hell with that, man. I'm sorry for wasting your time. One sec, we're gonna get it right. I know what to do. All right, we're gonna stop sharing the screen. And then we're gonna share the entire screen. Okay, because damn all that other mess. It's not working. There we go. Right. Let's make it full screen layout. Let's get rid of that. It'll pop up there. And then let's play this one more time. All right. Salaki for wasting your time. There we go. Right. So as I was saying, right, Eve out here dressing like a whore, thinking she came up, you know, with this man right here.
1, 2, Brad's coming for you. 3, 4, black men protect no more. 5, 6, hold on to your wigs. 7, 8, it's too late. 9, 10, never wake again. 5.
Right, I want to run that back because people are saying on our comment board, he is going to harm you, get out, right? But she ain't listening, right? I'm happy where I'm at. Thanks for nothing though, right? Because Eve is proud, you know what I mean? You can't tell Eve nothing, so you just got to let, you know, if you don't hear, you must feel, man. You know?
Hold on to your wigs.
I want to point out
7, 8.
Now look in this guy's eyes, man. Look at the way he's looking at her. Does that look like a man that loves her? That man, Eve, you're a fantasy to Esau. He wishes he could dig in your guts, you know, and then you spread your legs and give it to him like a little whore, thinking you then came up. And the whole time you were just a fantasy. In his head, he, you know, while he's drilling you down, he's thinking of you as his slave, his bed wench. Because that's what they are. That's who they are, man. Because you don't understand the Bible. You don't understand reincarnation. This man probably owned a plantation in his past life. Look at this man. Tell me that man ain't evil. Look at him, man.
It's too late. 9, 10, never wake again.
Divesting gone wrong. Joe McKinn accused of strangling popular soft life influencer Ashley Jenny to death on her birthday. Now I was the first to expose this, but was waiting for more information about this case.
Look, she out here living the high life, thinking she came up, thinking she doing good, thinking the grass is greener.
Lifestyle influencer Ashley Jenny and her fiancé Joe McKinn celebrated her 31st birthday in Tanzania.
Slave master right there.
He popped the question on the trip at the Serval Wildlife Resort. She was living every soft life, prostitute, divestor's dream grift on social media. Now, reports are coming out from someone who claims to be close to her that she was found dead in her hotel room and her fiancé Joe McKinn is claiming she hung herself. Her loved ones say something isn't right.
See, they always say, anytime a so-called black man or woman gets found hung, they always say that we did it ourselves. I'm going to tell you this for free. So-called black people do not hang themselves. Or should I say Israelites do not hang themselves, okay?
It does seem odd that a person would commit such an act on vacation after an engagement, but again, this is a divestor we're...
Look how red he is, man. That's Esau. The Bible warns you about them.
...seeing. Don't believe anything a divestor says on social media, especially one that makes a white man her whole personality. The irony of this post. Hardwood floors, soft life, which really means now, a hard casket, dirt and maggots, which is what's in store in the lower room. Now that her death has been exposed, so has the scammer been exposed. Allegedly, he was still married. This is from 2021. They got married in 2018.
Look, our women love Esau. Look, all clean cut with his suit and tie. And these women think that they think that that's the prize right there. You know, they think they came up. Like, they really think that they're winning being with these devils, man.
But had a wedding in 2021, and on his Twitter page in 2024, he also says he is married. Don't forget, he gotta use the "my wife is black" excuse. His wife clearly makes more money than him. Just look at this recent IG post. It is said his wife works for Google and he only started his scam company 4 years ago. His daughter is 3 years old. She also states that he did business with Iggy Azalea, but Iggy had to come on the post and clear up the rumors. She said he was questionable and everyone stopped doing business with him in 2024. Now, why does this matter, you may ask? He was flaunting a fake lifestyle on Instagram with a prostitute while he lost quite a bit of money in crypto, according to this comment on Reddit. He leveraged a trade against ETH last year in 2025, causing him to liquidate his whole fund. It lines up when you search his name in Google. Just shows you how much his life was fake and how much she was grifting on social media. But you might be asking, what is the backstory on her? Well, she is a lifetime member of the Divest crew, looking through her past tweets. A sex worker claiming that black men are embarrassing the black community. The irony, but let's go through her Twitter history. Back in 2013, she made it known she loved white boys. Now watch the wordplay with this one. She says, "You still only date white boys." Then she tried to lie and says no. But why would someone think she only dated white boys if this were not true? Actions speak louder than words. Then she says her white boyfriend is not lame. He is clearly a lame. Jump to 2016 and she confirms she has been dating white guys for as long as she can remember. And also note, no black men were involved in her life.
So she says, "I couldn't tell you how many times a black man has asked me who hurt me for me to like a white man. Like, grow up. Ha 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 ha. Emojis, right? It's the pride in these women, man. That's why we don't feel sorry for you when you get what you get. We really do not. We actually laugh. Okay, inside we're really laughing. We have no remorse. Even though this woman, you know, on the outward appearance, she's a beautiful girl. Don't get me wrong, man. The girl nice looking and all that, but she threw out here, man. Okay, that it's the head. It's where your mind is at that means more to us, man. We don't give a damn about looks. We can overlook the looks, because if we were basing our relationships just on your looks, we'd never be satisfied, man. There's always a girl better that's gonna look better than you, okay? And if we were basing it just solely on your looks, we would never be satisfied, okay? It says, "Honestly, I've dated white guys for as long as I can remember, but I've never bashed black men or belittled them while doing so. Why everybody think white guys got pink peckers? Because they probably do."
Where she was bullied or made fun of for her to chase white men. This is a personal choice she made. Let's not skip over a crucial part in this. Here she says her and her mom been fucking white men their whole lives, and her mom was the one that encouraged her to be with a white man like her. Here's her mom, so there is no confusion. Let's keep going. She is your typical divester, already doing drugs and threesomes. She is also bisexual. When you are a divester...
See, it's the women that lead our women astray, and our men, because they're the ones raising them, man. These single mothers are doing a terrible job at raising these children, I tell you. Because if they knew any better, they would tell their children to stay the hell away from these devils, man.
You gotta be down and ready to do the most disgusting stuff in order to maintain your place with white men. A week before she died, she did make this comment pointing out how Miami men, not white, so she's talking about black men, beat their women. The irony...
Well, clearly, that's not the case. in these clips I'm about to show you, because every one of these clips, and there are many more, but I didn't even, I didn't add all the ones I have to this lesson because it would just be too lengthy. But everyone you're gonna see, like, these women were getting beaten to a pulp, okay, by these Edomite men. Okay, so you out here thinking white boy is gonna treat you any better? You crazy, man. You need to get your head checked, Eve.
Of this post because according to friends and family, this is how she was killed. She was strangled by the white man, then he staged it to look like a self-deletion. This is still alleged, but they found strangulation marks on her neck and the white man did not report it until 2 days later. He also deleted all the pics from his Instagram and has made no mention of her on his Twitter. He is only tweeting about crypto and everything but the divester. Even though she didn't like black men, the simps tried to call other black men jealous, which is what makes this story so ironic, because you had simps defending her and then you had the regular...
Yeah, you simps gotta go, man, okay? Because you're part of the problem. You out here bigging these girls head up and running, being Captain Save-A-Ho, running to these women's rescue, these whores, man. Take your damn cape off, Jake. Quit trying to be a damn hero out here, man. These women are through. They don't want to be saved.
Black men trying to warn her about white men. It says just wait a few years, but it only took a few days and her picture will be added to the list. So in total, you had black women glazing her for being with a white man, you had the simps defending her for being with a white man by attacking other black men, and then you had regular black men telling her to watch out. I guess the divester saw the comments about safety as insults or a form of jealousy. Black men tried to help her, and now she will never get the chance to play in a mixed-race baby's hair. Now, this video was not made to make fun of the deceased, but to bring to light the violence and murder rate divester.
That's a blue-eyed devil right there, man. Look at them eyes. Yeah, people think blue eyes are beautiful. That's recessive genes, and that's the eyes of the devil right there, okay? The whole time you never knew the devil had blue eyes.
Face at the hands of white men. As for me personally, I really don't care.
Just look at him, man. Does that look, that man looks violent. He looks like he would murder you in a minute if he could get away with it. And in this case, he did.
About the divester. I am just here to point out the hypocrisy and debunk all the myths about black men that the divester and white men put out there. White men can solve her crime and pay for her funeral.
Disgusting, man. Eve's so damn simple, boy.
Ask them for help. Links are in the description.
Anyway, yeah, so I want to show you something real quick in the beginning of this. I forgot to point out. I'm going to pause it real quick. One second.
1, 2. Brad's coming for you. 3, 4. Black men protect no more. 5, 6. Hold on to your wigs. 7, 8. It's too late. 9, 10. Never wake again.
Divesting gone wrong. Joe McKinn accused of strangling popular song. For more information about this, he popped the question on who claims to be close to her that something isn't right.
All right, never mind. I can't find it. But forget that. I wanted to show you this one still image of him because the man was looking absolutely evil in one of them still shots of him. Hey, Shalom Akim. Yahabashim Yahshai Barakatam to all of you brothers, man. I'm glad you could join the live. This should be a good lesson. You know, I kind of messed up the beginning of it, had a bit of technical difficulty, but we got it sorted. So yeah, man, let me show you a couple precepts, right? Because these women are gonna have to learn the hard way that, you know, these people are our enemy. Okay, let's go right here. This is Sirach, otherwise known as Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12 and verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness." Right? So the enemy, you know, can be, well, really any nation out there, but mainly this talking about Esau, Edom. Okay, and for us fellas, this is also talking about these women, okay, that are not in order, okay, because they're our enemy too. The Bible states that. We're going to get to that in just a second. But, you know, an enemy in general, we should never trust them, okay? And our enemy is clearly Esau, Edom. Now, the so-called black man has two enemies. Let's just show you this quick image right here, right? The so-called black man has two enemies, the corporate bedwench and this bold-faced Edomite in a suit, okay? Never trust them, okay? Now, I'm not talking about you women that are in order, obviously, okay? The shoe don't fit, don't wear it, man. Because we love our women, okay? We just don't tolerate women that are out of order, okay? And we have no patience for them. And we don't care about them, okay? Because we know that they're unfixable and they're only going to be destroyed anyway. Their life is literally vanity. They were born in vain. So we don't care about them. We only care about the women that are in order, okay? Because we love our women, don't get it twisted. This ain't a lesson to make it seem as if we hate women, okay? Because we don't. We love women, okay? Otherwise we'd be gay. You know, we love our women, man. But, you know, when our women are out of order, we ain't gonna hold back, man, and we ain't gonna spare your feelings. We gonna tell you straight up how we feel and how it is and what the Bible says. And the Bible says, never trust thine enemy, like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness, right? So just like iron rusts and you can wipe it away, it's eventually gonna come back. You know, you might think you found a nice so-called white man that's taking care of you and this and that, but he's still your enemy. And if you watch him close enough, you're going to see that this man probably voted for Trump behind your back. You know, when you dive into this man and his political, you know, his political beliefs or whatever, you know, you'll find out that these people are no different. They're all the same. Okay, you might be with him for a while and everything seems sweet, and then one day out of the blue, this man talking about damn immigrants in the country, yeah, get them out of our country, stop the boats and all of that. You know what I mean? And their true colors come out. You watch them close enough or long enough, you're going to see that these people are the same. They never change. It says in verse 11, so 12 and 11, though he humble himself and go crouch in, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. See, that rust is still there, that wickedness is still there, that rust represents wickedness, and it will never go away because the so-called white man can't be changed. There's other precepts that back that up. You know, you brothers, if you want to put them on a comment board, you can, you know, as a, you know, the leopard changing his spots and who can bring a clean thing out of an unclean, or, you know, whatever the spirit as you do if you want to. And if you don't want to, that's fine. It don't matter because I got plenty of precepts to bring out here anyway to keep this lesson going. But, you know, the scriptures say that we humble himself and go crouching, because these Edomites are always trying to play in your face like they're the good guy, okay, when really they're the devil that the Bible speaks of. They're no good, but they always try to pretend like they're more civilized. They're the best pick for you so-called black women, that they can treat you better than us. That's a form of them humbling themselves and going crouching. But don't fall for it, okay? Don't be so damn simple. You was never meant to be shacked up with the devil, okay? It says, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou was wiped the looking glass. So if you watch him close enough, eventually your lenses are going to be clear. You're going to see clearly, okay? You're going to eventually see them for who they really are. Watch them closely. Don't fall for that. Don't be so damn gullible, man. It says, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. I'm going to continue reading because there's more meat on this, right? And we're going to get into this lesson. We're going to get deeper into this lesson in just a sec, because I got a few clips to play that you're really going to find interesting. Sirach 12 and 12, set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou So if you trust them enough, you end up getting stabbed in the back, man. If you're gullible, all right, and they see, because they're always looking to get over on you, man. You know, and that goes for the women too. You know, these women that are out of order. You know what I mean? They they pretend like they're a good catch, like they're a good woman, like they're wifey material. But then when you really get to know them, you find out this woman ain't worth a shit. You know what I mean? It says, and thou shalt at last remember my words and be pricked therewith. So it's going to be the biggest I told you so moment when you F around and find out the hard way, right? By not hearkening unto the words of the Lord, because these ain't my words I'm reading. Remember, these are the words of the Lord, okay? It's just that the Lord sent people in these end times that know how to break these scriptures down correctly to guide you to salvation, okay? It says, Sirach 12 and 13, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come nigh wild beasts, meaning near wild beasts? And Esau is the wild man, the beast, the the serpent in the garden. Okay, so it says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? This is, you know, metaphorically speaking, you know, about how, you know, if you get too close to somebody that's your enemy, eventually you're gonna get stung, you're gonna get bitten. Okay, and who's gonna pity you when you shouldn't be shacking up with the damn devil in the first place, you know? But, you know, our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, the scriptures say, right? Let me see. Let me just check the comment board. Yeah, can't the water for that. Let me, let's just pull that up real quick. The water for the precepts, brothers. Shalom, brother Judah. Let me, I'm gonna read that in just a sec, bro. Let's get to these precepts real quick. Let's start with Itazawam hopeful. Yahabashim Yahushua Barakatah, bro. Sirach 39 and 28. There be spirits that create for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of their destruction, they pour out their force and appease the wrath of him that made them. That's right, because Yahweh Shem Yahushai created certain spirits to do his work on the left-hand side, because, you know, the Lord is a perfect balance, and Christians are misled by thinking that God is all love. All he does is love, love, love. No, he destroys too. Because this woman that got deleted, choked out, and then noosed, strung up, strange fruited by her Edomite lover, right? Which she thought was her lover, the enemy. Now, you know, she didn't realize that he was the enemy, and the Lord used that man, the Edomite, the wicked, as his sword, and basically judged that woman. Which, you know, that may sound strange to those that are in Christianity and don't have the understanding of the Holy Bible, but if you watch this lesson long enough, because I got some precepts on deck, I'm going to show you how the Lord gets down, okay? Because the Lord is a perfect balance. So, you know, he creates spirits for vengeance that appease the wrath of him that made them, okay? Basically, he uses certain people and certain animals and certain things to judge people, certain spirits in this world to judge people. That's why you got some people that look like they belong in a damn mental asylum. The Lord created that spirit for a specific purpose, to judge a certain person at a certain time. That's how the Lord gets down. He's very precise with it, man. Good precept. So this is Atazawam hopeful. Elect 144. It says Psalms 55 and 21. It says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. That's right, because that's Esau crouching and humbling himself, just like I brought out in the book of Sirach, chapter 12, right? These people crouch down, humble themselves, act like they're, you know, not who they really are. They act like they're a good guy, okay, when the Bible reveals who they really are. That's why we cleave to the word of the Lord, us that are wise in these end times, because we see things for what they are. But Eve, being simple and rejecting knowledge, rejecting the truth, falls into the snare. Man, our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, you know? So the words of his mouth are smoother than butter. He'll tell you everything you want to hear, make it seem like he's the better pick for you. and that we're no good. Okay, we just beat our women, we're brokies, this and that, when really we're just under the curses of the Bible. Okay, because our true nature is to be tender and delicate. Okay, but we're under curses, and I'm going to bring that precept out in just a second. Right, so it says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. He's going to tell you everything you want to hear. It says, but war was in his heart. These people cannot be trusted. It says his words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. See, good precept. GMS in his likeness. Proverbs 4:14. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked. This is a good one, man. Enter not into the path of the wicked. That's it, man. And Eve did that, by trusting in this devil, man, thinking that this man was going to love her for life and be the perfect match for her, and they were just going to have this romantic fantasy, they're going to live this dream. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked and go not in the way of evil men. Esau is an evil man. Even the scriptures say that. They call him the violent man, the evil man, many other things, the wicked, the ungodly. It's all talking about the same people. These people are no good. And check their track record, check their history, man. Bunch of rapists and pedophiles, man. How did they get America? Stole it. Damn, they genocided the whole of the Gadites, the so-called Native Americans. And they have no remorse because they're wicked. Okay, you think the Lord loves people like that? I think not. Read Romans 9:13, man. It says, enter not into the path of the wicked and go not in the way of an evil man. And it says in verse 15, avoid it, pass not by it, turn from it and pass away. That's right. Avoid these devils, man. Stop thinking that the grass is greener with them just because they're not under the curses like us. They stole the world. Of course, they're going to be at the top. But once the Lord brings them down to their position that they actually belong in, which is near to come, okay, because this third world war that the Lord is brewing up is going to be their downfall, okay? This is why all these things are happening in the world. It says it all throughout the Bible, man. But when you don't have that understanding, like I said, our people perish for lack of knowledge. But once you understand this, then you understand where you belong, okay? Because you so-called black women, you belong with us, okay? But if you want to be a bed wench, hey, Esau can have you, okay? All he's doing is taking out our garbage. Good precept. Let me see. Zephaniah 3:5, it says, the just Lord is in the midst thereof. He will not do iniquity. So, even the Lord deleted this so-called black woman, okay, by the hands of this by this KKK member, right? This is the Grand Wizard himself. Okay, the Lord is he's not unjust for doing that. Okay, it said, and we're going to prove this as we go along. It says, he will not do iniquity. Every morning doth he bring his judgments. Okay, the Lord judges. He doesn't just love like the Christians think. Every morning doth he bring his judgments to light. He faileth not, but the unjust knoweth no shame. And that was by a Tazawam, hopeful elect. Good precept, Art. Yeah, man. The Lord brings his judgments to light, every morning. A good precept right here, too. Deuteronomy, Tazawam, hopeful elect, 144, Deuteronomy 32 and 39. Bring it out, let them know, you know what I mean? I want Eve to see this. These simple Eves out here that don't know, that aren't a part of the hopeful elect. I need them to see this video. Okay, hopefully it'll snap some sense into them. But they'll more than likely get offended because, like I said, they're proud. Okay. It says, Deuteronomy 32 and 39, see now that I, even I am he, and there is no God with me. Meaning there's no other power on his level. There's no other, he's the only God in this world. There's lowercase g gods, which are false gods, but he's the power that created the heavens and the earth, and his only begotten son in the Alahayim, but there's no power with him. It says, I kill and I make alive. See, the Lord is a perfect balance. He's not just love, you Christians. It says, I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So the Lord had this girl punch out, you know what I mean? Clock out. He had her clock out, man. Good precept, because the Lord is not all love. Here we go. This is the one I wanted, right? Good precept. I tazawam hopeful elect 144. It says Jeremiah 13:23. Can the Ethiopian change his skin? No. He's always gonna be a dark black man. It says, or the leopard, so-called black, obviously, or the leopard his spots? No. Rhetorical questions. It says, then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. Man, check the Edomite, the so-called white man's track record. Do you think he's suddenly going to have a change of heart and like us? Now, don't get it twisted, right? Because you do have some people that appear to look like so-called white people whose lineage goes back to our people, okay? But they're rare out there, man. You do have a few, and they're the ones you say, oh yeah, he's like one of us. Ain't a racist bone in his body. He's invited to the cookout. You got to use wise discernment when you're speaking like that. Because in this woman's case, she probably thought he was the type to be invited to the cookout when he was just a damn clans member, crouching and humbling himself, pretending to be someone he really wasn't. But, you know, these people are born wicked, and they will not do good, because the Lord says that he created all things for himself, even the wicked for the day of evil. So the reason that the so-called white man even exists is for the day of evil, which we're living in now, okay? And you're about to see how evil this man can be in the very near future, okay? When this system collapses, he's going to turn up. Proverb, Atazawam, hopeful elect 144, Proverbs 3:31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Yeah, man, because these people are at the top winning. But Micah 2:10 says that this is not our rest. So don't seek to be on his level when we're under curses and we're supposed to bear the indignation of the Lord because we've sinned against him, the scriptures say. That's why it's important to know what the Bible says and know the Bible through and through. So therefore, you know how to maneuver in this world, man. You know how to walk in this life, which will lead to life. But, you know, just like the next brother puts up here, GMS in his likeness, he put the penalty for disobedience is death. And that's the spirit, man. That was the perfect ending to what I was just speaking on. The penalty for disobedience is death. So if you're disobedient to the words of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, meaning the words of the Holy Bible, then you can expect nothing but death. That's going to lead you to the path, down path. It's going to lead you down a path that leads to death, man. Okay, because you're at the end of the day, you're being disobedient to the right way. Didn't Yahushai say, I am the way, the truth, and the life? Now the Lord says, right, that, you know, the women are not to be a whore. But if you're being disobedient, you can expect nothing but death, okay? Because you out here whoring around with these other people that you're not meant to be with. Deuteronomy, I tell you, I'm hopeful elect, Deuteronomy 23:17, there shall be no whore of the daughters of Israel, nor a sodomite of the sons of Israel. Man, this, I tell you what, man, that's the spirit. Like, literally, I was just talking about you being a whore. I didn't even know you was going to post that. This is just flowing nicely. You brothers are putting some damn good precepts on the comment board, man, for water for that. You're helping this lesson a lot. But I'm going to have to cut it short just a sec. Lord willing, I'll get back to... Actually, there's only one more. I'm going to go ahead and... let me go ahead and bring that out. And as a matter of fact, let me break this down before I do that. So, you know, the Lord is saying that our women are not to be a whore and our sons are not to be sodomites, flamers, right? Because the scriptures also say that no effeminate are going to enter into the kingdom of heaven, man. Okay, so don't let the ways of Babylon the Great, aka America, seduce you. Okay, take your mindset out of this place if you want to live. Okay, because the penalty for disobedience is death, just like GMS in his likeness put up earlier, right? So let me read this last precept, then I'm going to continue with this lesson. I've got quite a bit to bring out. This is Itazawam Hopeful Elect 144, Psalms 140:1. It says, deliver me, O Yahweh, from the evil man, preserve me from the violent man. Just like I said earlier, man, the Lord has many names for these devils, these so-called white people, okay? And like I said, it ain't all so-called white people, because some of them go back to our people, because, you know, we were scattered among all people, all nations. But if they are Edomite, they're the violent man. They're the evil man, okay, that the Bible is talking about, okay? That's why we say, like, if you're obedient to the scriptures, then you're going to see things clearly in this world. You're going to understand your purpose. You're going to understand what you're meant to do, what you're not meant to do. And one of the things that you women are not meant to do is be getting with these damn devils, okay? You really think the Lord wants our women with Edomite men? The devil? When he can knock you up and get you pregnant and that child is going to be destroyed, you think the Lord wants that for you? The penalty for disobedience is death, man. So the Lord is calling, you know, King David is calling, and King David is speaking through the Spirit of the Lord. He's calling the Edomite the violent man and the evil man. And he's purposed to overthrow our goings. But yeah, good precepts. Let me go ahead and share my screen again, right? Because I got some more things I want to show you, right? As you can see here. Now, the woman, the wife of this girl, her mother basically put her up to date in the Edomite. And now when she was interviewed by I guess the news or whatever, she wouldn't even look in the camera. Let me go ahead and quickly play this, because she was so guilty.
So I just watched a little bit of an interview of Ashley Janae's parents, her dad right there with his new partner, and his mom right here. You can see his mom, or her mom, looking straight down, not looking at the camera. She does this for a lot of the interview, and her stepdad over there. As you can see, that is a white man. I'm not judging her. But when you go through Ashley Janae's old tweets, look at this. I already know I'm going to end up with a white man just like my mom, cutting the fuck up. My mom is convinced I'm going to be with a white man just like her. My mom is convinced I'm going to marry a white man. All of this.
And now it all makes sense. Every time I watch the interviews, I'm always wondering, why is the mother always looking down? And now it makes her mom is the one that pushed her to go find a white man. Her mom has been the one getting in her head, telling her, go find you a white man. White men are better. They're going to treat you better. Again, I have been vindicated. Once again, her mom was the one pushing. See, she had an active father, an active black father in her life. She had an active black father with a wife, a black woman with locks on. So that's locks. That tells you she's a different type of black woman. She's a black woman in tune with her blackness. She has seen black love at her father's house. Every time she goes to her father's house, she sees what a black couple looks like. She saw it with her father and her mother. It didn't work out. And then she saw her father now, and she's seeing it again. That's not what she wanted. She wanted what her mother had. Because I believe her mother has been pushing that shit in her head. Just not even I believe, she came to Twitter to say it.
Right. So I've got a precept I want to bring out real quick on this topic here, because these women, right, raising our children. One second. These women raising our children are doing a terrible job at it. Okay. Not all of them. Okay. Before you lot start, going psycho out there. Not all of them, but you do have the odd few that do raise their boys right and their daughters right, but that's rare these days, man. Women, for the most part, are doing an absolutely disgusting job, because you then ran the man off in most cases, and now you're stuck raising a child by yourself, which, being a single mother is also part of the curses. That's why when you understand the Bible, it puts everything in life in a perspective as to why you're a single mother. All of that's in there. But we're going to bring that out in just a sec. But this is Isaiah 3:12. It says, as for my people, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, the biblical Israelites, children are their oppressors. Okay, and this is twofold because the scriptures say, "Woe unto thee, O land, when your king is a child." Because Esau's ruling over us, and he's like a damn child. Okay, these Edomites are like children, and they're our oppressors, man. And you also have our children growing up to be little badass baby kids. They're our oppressors in a lot of cases, man. Okay, because they're misbehaved, and we can't punish them. We can't put the belt to their ass in Esau's kingdom because it comes with consequences. We get thrown in jail and all, the kids taken away and all that. But our people, it says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and it says, and women rule over them. See, so our women are ruling over us. Got all these high positions out there, being damn doctors, lawyers, and judges and all that, man, in positions they ain't supposed to be in. They're supposed to get their ass in the kitchen. Okay, and I don't care if that offends you. You're supposed to be keepers at home, the Bible says. All right, your duty is to be a helpmeet unto your man. Take care of the children, hold down the household, take care of the household, and that's your role, man. Okay, and you'd be happy if you was in that role. You think it's oppression, but it's really not. It's the right order. Okay, it says, "Oh my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err." And you got women ruling over households, causing the children to err, meaning error, meaning to go off, to stray from the right way, turn out to be little babies, kids, end up getting locked up, right? "Oh my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err." That's also Esau, Edom. Okay, and you got the Christian pastors, the people that are supposed to be our shepherds, teaching us the Bible. They're teaching us they're teaching the Bible wrong and leading us astray. So this goes into many this goes into many avenues or whatever, but you can also equate this to the NW, right? Leading our people astray, raising little badass kids, right? And in this case with this woman, she's coercing her daughter or pushing her daughter to be with a so-called white man. And look where it ended up. That's why when you saw the mother in the interview, the news interview, she wouldn't even look up at the camera, man. She would not look you in the eye because she was guilty as hell, because she know that it was her fault. It says, "Oh my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths." See? So you got to be very cautious when people are trying to lead you astray. The Bible teaches you the right way. That's why the Lord said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." Okay, he's the one that will lead you to life. Anyway, I want to see if there was any more meat on him, on this one that I read earlier. Yeah, maybe I can jump to that real quick. This is Sirach 12:16. It says, "An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips." Right? So, Esau gonna come along, try and charm Eve, and Eve is simple and falls for, he's easily finessed. Why? Because she lacks wisdom. The Bible says that also. We're gonna get that in just a sec. "An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee in a pit." See, you're just a fantasy. You're just a fetish to Esau Edom, okay? In most cases, he just pictures you so-called black women, being his slave, his bed wench. That's what he's got in his mind while he's thrusting you. He's like, yeah, he's picturing you on his plantation, and he gets off on that. You got to understand how sick these devils are, man. They're the number one rapists and pedophiles in this world. You got to have a twisted mind to be one of them, a pedophile or a rapist, and they're number one when it comes to that. So why would you get with the people that have you gotta understand pattern recognition. You gotta understand when these people behave in a certain way constantly. Hey, you gotta keep that in mind. You gotta take that serious. Don't be ignorant to it, man. It says he will weep weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. See, because they come humble, like they're all nice and all that. But if he finds an opportunity, he's gonna kill you. And in this case, you know, Eve had to F around and find out the hard way, man. And it says here, in Job 39:17, it says, because the Most High have deprived her of wisdom, the woman, neither hath he imparted unto her to her understanding. So the women don't have understanding or wisdom. That's why the men are supposed to lead them. First, they're raised by their parents, right? And the father rules over her. And then she leaves her father. This is the natural order. She leaves her father to go with her husband, who is pretty much her new father. Okay? Your man is supposed to lead. You're always supposed to be led by a man, you women out there. Okay? And that's just the way it is. That's the way you was created. So stop trying to go against your natural order. And there's a reason why you got to be ruled over. Because you're the weaker vessel. You're more easily finessed. Why do you think the serpent went to the woman first? Let me play another video. 1 second. There's quite a few here I got to bring out. So I'm going to try and get through this as quick as possible. Let's see here. Right. So we got this woman here, right? Let's just bring this out quick. And excuse the image, you know, she got her Babylons out. You know, women dressing like a damn whore. And that cross on her neck is a red flag right there. If you see a woman with a cross on her neck, just run. Okay. She ain't no good. Her head ain't right. It says a 23-year-old black woman who made it clear she preferred white men over black men was stabbed to death by her boyfriend a month after filing a restraining order. And they talk about black men always beating their women. Thought the grass was greener, and then effed around and found out. It says he then went on into a car and he then went head on into a collision, right? Into a car and set himself on fire. And this is her comments, right? In fact, let's get rid of that and let's blow this one up, because this is how she was speaking online. White people never seem to love me as much as I love them, sigh. All right? I think the grass is greener. It says we hate niggers over here. See, that's that proud. That's Eve being proud, man. Okay, that's why we have no pity for them that get bitten by the serpent. It says, I would love to live like a white person in New Orleans. They make the city look so not dirty. The hell does that mean? Shut the hell up, Eve, man. Oh, Kurt. I don't know if that's like slang where she's from, or if she meant to say okay. I don't know. It says, oh, Kurt, I don't know if I want a white man anymore. They be having all types of problems. See? What did the scriptures say? When I read earlier the book of Sirach, chapter 12, let's just bring out the chapter again, and then here we go. Sirach chapter 12 and 11, it says, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Watch him closely, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away. So if you watch these devils close enough, just don't be so damn naive and simple, you women, man. You watch them close enough, you're going to see that this man is truly the devil that the Bible speaks of. Gosh darn it, those black Hebrew Israelites were right. You know, obviously so-called black Hebrew Israelites, that's what they say, innit? But yeah, let's I want to show you something. Just look at the pride. Forget the boobies. Look, you can just see that you can't tell a woman like that nothing, man. The haughtiness of a woman may be known by her eyelids, the scriptures say. I mean, just look. You don't even know what she looks like under there. That's probably why he killed her, because she catfished the shit out of him. You know, because all this that you're seeing is fake. Even the titties are probably fake. More than likely. Because damn near half of them, if not more than that, have fake boobs. But you know, I mean, he probably took her to the pool and got the shock of his life, and he was like, "Oh hell no!" Probably why he killed her. That's probably why he's beating her. Who knows? Who knows? But I want to show you something, because see, a lot of this, what Eve does, and as far as being a bed wench for Esau, is based on this right here, feminism, right? That's Gloria Steinem, who was a CIA agent. Okay, she's the devil, right? That was set up to destroy our people. They never do anything nice for our people. They're always set up to destroy our people secretly. They crouch and go humble in themselves, but you got to take good heed and beware of them, because they're the same old devil. Their rust has not been wiped away. Always looking like they're doing something for our benefit, when really they're plotting to destroy us. They imagine how to throw us into a pit, the Bible says, just like I read earlier, man, in the book of Sirach, chapter 12. This is the idiot that fell for it, Eve, beguiled by the serpent yet again through feminism, which didn't do you no favors, right? And then it turns out that the woman's a CIA agent and also throwing up these symbols. This image of her doing that right there is a real image. It's not AI. And that pose that she's throwing up right there is them teaching with their fingers, as the scriptures say. They teach with their fingers, the scriptures speak about. That's what they do. They throw up symbolism. It's basically like the one eye symbolism. That's why she's got the two fingers up next to her eye. Now, if you're wise enough and you look into these type things, and you'll see that this isn't reaching. This is actually true. There's many images of different celebrities doing the same pose. You even got Bishop Nate doing it. And where it comes from is this guy here, Aleister Crowley, who is a Satanist. Okay, look him up, Aleister Crowley. And he's doing that same pose that Gloria Steinem's doing right here. Okay, now she's the one that deceived Eve with feminism, that feminism movement. And now you see her up here throwing up the same damn symbol, which represents the the pyramid with the one eye, with the eye in it. Okay, throwing up the rock, just like Jay-Z. And you know Jay-Z was a fan of Aleister Crowley. He had a shirt with a quote, a famous image of Jay-Z with wearing a shirt saying, do what thou wilt, which came from, I believe it was Aleister Crowley, a quote from him. It was either him or someone, Anton LaVey, I believe his name could be. Anton LaVey, it was one of them, but I believe it was Aleister Crowley, right? They're both Satanists. And then you got here a shirt where she's promoting abortion, okay, which is wickedness. The Bible says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, and they're deceiving you. Because this pro-abortion movement that she's pushing also on top of the feminist agenda, feminism agenda, is all a deception. They're throwing up their symbols and let you know they work for the devil. They are the devil. They're the devil's workers, man. But Eve fell for it yet again, okay, because she has no wisdom about her, man. Just like we read here in the book of Job 39 and 17. The Lord have deprived the women of wisdom, not meaning that they're just stupid, okay? That ain't what this means, okay? It just means that you're not in a position to be leading, okay? And you're not the type, in most cases, to be going deep, into the things of this world, like the things I've just brought out and showed you. I'm sure a lot of you women, the ones that are not in order, have only just learned that for the first time today, watching this video. Why? Because the men are the leaders. We're the ones that have been given, the authority to teach the Bible, to bring these type of things out, because the Lord blessed us with that type of wisdom. But you women, you're not diligent enough to realize when you're being beguiled by the serpent, man. It's just not in you. That's why you need to be with your men, and a man of the Lord at that. Okay, so let's go into another clip I want to show you, right?
Where a man is accused of killing a woman last night on the Heights Drive in North Carolina.
Police say Noah Hendricks shot and killed Jennifer Talley. Investigators say he was quickly identified and taken into custody.
I mean, look at him, man. Like, what is Eve seeing? And why does she think she's coming up being with these people, man? That ain't your match. That ain't who you're meant to be with. Look at this guy, man. I don't really need to see no more. But that's another woman that got murked by her, by her
A 46-year-old
Debbie-
woman was
Debbie
found
Daddy.
dead in her Dallas apartment with her face and body beaten so bad her family said they couldn't recognize her. Her 49.
Look how beautiful this girl is, man. And she thinks that being with these blue-eyed devils, she's coming up. She thinks that she thought she was winning.
9-year-old husband pleaded self-defense, but a jury rejected it and sentenced him to 72 years in prison. The couple had been officially married for 3 months after an on and off 6-year relationship. Listen, this man ain't just snap. This was a pattern. He been putting his hands on this woman. It's just this time he took it too far. Her family said one time he choked her until she was unconscious. We knew the relationship was a little rocky, but we never seen this coming. Nobody.
Why would a woman want to be with a man that, chokes her? These women are so quick to get with these violent men, okay? Even if it was a Jake, not this Edomite here. I'm just saying, like, even if she was with Jake and he's beating her around, like, what, you didn't know he was like that before you guys hooked up? Women so quick to spread their legs because they're beguiled. They don't, they're not aware. They don't have the wisdom to see that they're being finessed. A man is, when you first meet a man, he's always going to tell you everything you want to hear, whether it be a Jake or an Edomite or whoever. They're always going to, because they just want one thing in most cases. They just want to get between your legs. So they're going to act like they're the perfect match for you. And the women just simple. They fall for it all the time. But anyway, this man beat this woman till she was unrecognizable, man. He Emmett Tilled her. Okay, he did her like Emmett Till. Look how beautiful she is, man. That's a beautiful girl right there. And but he could have her. We don't, these women, beautiful women come a dime a dozen, man. Okay, no loss there. Because if you're stupid enough to go with a damn devil, okay, then you stay there. Okay, we're not going to mourn your loss. Okay, because you women are just unwise. Anyway, watch this right here. This is disgusting.
Reinstate slavery on a volunteer basis. I bet some of you niggas will step forward. This is the private life of one of these lowly Negroes who wear that red hat. Talking about make America great again. What you really mean is make us slaves again. Got this man feeding you right along with the dogs, with four-legged animals. Because that's how you see yourself, and that's also how he see you. You don't think you're a two-legged being. You think you walking around balancing on your hind legs.
That dog was trying to mount her. What the hell, man? How you live in a house with that many dogs? That's Esau for you, man. And the scriptures speak about him and his Esau and his damn dogs. And as a matter of fact, while we're in the book of Job right here, that's the spirit. Let's just bring it out, okay? Because the scriptures speak about these devils, man, all throughout the Bible. Job 30:1. Now he's talking about the so-called white man here. Now they that are younger than me, they that are younger than I, have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have set with the dogs of my flock. Because these people are known to sleep with dogs. They're the biggest people. Like I said, they're sexual deviants. They're perverts, man. They're weird. They're twisted. Okay, they're crooked as hell. These people are not right. You got to separate from them. It says, but now they that are younger than I have me in derision, whose fathers I would have disdained to have slept with the dogs of my flock. Because Job knows that how these Edomites get down, that they would have slept with his damn dogs. I don't think I'm going to read. I don't think I'm going to read any more of that because there's no point. But it goes on. You can read it for yourself. The rest of this, it talks about how they were in the past. They came from how they used to live in the caves, and they were so vile that we chased them off into the caves. And now now that they're at the top, they got the whole world fooled, and they've deleted their history as far as how they came from the caves, you know, because they originally came from the mountains of Petra, and then we ran them off to the Caucasus Mountains of Georgia, Russia. Okay, and these people came into power, took over the world, stole the world through the sword, right? Through violence and rape, robbery, and murder. They're the thief that cometh not but for to steal, kill, and destroy, as it states in John 10:10. They're talking about the Edomite. But we ran them off into the caves because they were so nasty. Okay, these people didn't even know how to talk, didn't wipe their ass. They used to wear their underwear until it would disintegrate. Like they literally like dirty underwear, they would wear it until it just disintegrated on their body because it was so nasty, man. But they're just, what you see today is just a cleaned up caveman, right? But I want to show you a few more things. Let me just quickly check the comment board, make sure everything's good. Yeah, all right, let me bring out a few of these precepts real quick. The water for these precepts and engaging in the comment board. All right, where was we at last? It was can't mess what it means. I forget what I was saying to make you say that, but it's all good. Right, Proverbs, GMS in his likeness, Proverbs 27:6. Faithful are the wounds of a friend. It says, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. Bro, that's the perfect precept, man. Because Esau, he's coming along sweeting our women up, man. It's deceiving them, right? Basically, the kisses of an enemy is not literal kisses, okay? It just means, when they're treating you all kind and being everything that, acting like they're everything that we're not, then, our women fall for it and think that they're a good catch, when really it's deceitful. Okay, there was never meant for you, Eve. The kisses of an enemy are deceitful. A good precept. Do as thou wilt. That's right. It was Aleister Crowley. Yeah, I knew it was either Aleister Crowley or who's the other one? Anton LaVey. I said. I believe that's his name. They're both Satanists, man. But that's who Gloria Steinem was imitating when she did that, that one-eye symbolism, because it looks like somebody's just thinking. They call it the thinking man. Even Malcolm X did it, it's very sus, but don't fall for it, man. You gotta understand, when they sit there doing them poses like that, it's because, they're basically doing the one-eye symbolism when they got the finger up by the eye. IUIC do it a lot, not the members, but the leaders of IUIC. I've got a compilation of probably about 30 or more images of different members doing the same pose, and that ain't by coincidence. They're leading their flock astray, but obviously their congregation is simple. Okay, they don't take heed to sound doctrine. I tell you why I'm hopeful elect. Jeremiah 15:5, it says, for who shall have pity upon thee, O Jerusalem, or who shall bemoan thee, or who shall go aside to ask how thou doest? Yeah, because our people are hated in this world, because we're under the curses. No one's seeking to help us, okay, in our condition. That's true. Good precept. GMS in his likeness, Sirach 26 and 25, it says, a shameless woman shall be counted as a dog. That's right. And there's another version, I believe it's the ESV, could be NIV, but it says, it literally calls a shameless woman a bitch, okay? Because we know that a female dog is a bitch, but it says bitch in one of the versions of that scripture. It says a shameless woman shall be counted is a bitch or something like that. It just really, really brings it out. But yeah, shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, meaning we don't care about shameless women up here, man, okay? Because we're the men of the Lord, we're the men of wisdom, we're real men up here, okay? We don't fall for pumps and a bump, a big butt and a smile, man. That, that don't really have effect on us like that. Of course, naturally, men like to see beautiful women, and yeah, we may perk up a little bit, you know what I mean? Feel a little bit, a little bit of flutters or whatever when a nice pretty girl comes around. It's natural, man. But it don't have the effect that it does on it doesn't have the same effect as it does on a simp when these beautiful women come around, okay? Because if you're dressed half naked, yeah, we're gonna look until our eyes are full, okay? Because men like big breasts or a big body or whatever, man. Okay, it's just how it is. But we don't take you serious, okay? You're counted as a dog in our eyes. We would never wife you up. The hell, man. Anyway, it says a shameless woman, right? A woman that's just out there, a hoe, doing what she wants, being a damn whore, hot girl summer and all that, shall be counted as a dog. But she that is shamefaced, right, in order, humble, right, will fear the Lord. And that's the type of women that we go for, okay? That's why we say shalom to Akwaf in order. Akwaf meaning Israelite women. You women that are in order, man, you're the only ones that matter to us, because the rest of these women the Lord is about to destroy anyway. So what's the point? We ain't investing no energy into these shameless women. You're counted as a dog in our eyes, man, a bitch. Okay. 1 second. I got a bit more to bring out, and then we'll close it out, because I got some good clips here. Hope you like the thumbnail. That thumbnail, I got that from, I was on AI and it brought me to this attention because I was looking for a particular image and it showed me this. And it's like some woman, I forget her name. I could probably look it up, but it's neither here or there. It's not important. But there's a woman that was defending Esau, who was like a KKK member or something, or it was at some kind of protest, and he was getting his ass handed to him. And Eve, as they do, our people, the simple of our people, always run into Esau's defense, man. So that's why I made that the thumbnail, because Esau can't do nothing wrong in her eyes, man. Always run into his rescue. But check this one out real quick.
I don't know why anybody's surprised by the fact that racist men date black women all the time.
But the reason why my voice sounds this way was because my husband choked me out last night. I've been dealing with abuse now for 3 years. I've been married. Every holiday, every birthday, he has found a way to destroy those days for me. Last night, I saw the devil, and it was him. He was high on cocaine, which he does the lines of that stuff at his job. He works at the golf course. But even though I kept giving him passes, and I kept really believing that he was going to change, because 1 minute he was sweet as your grandma's apple pie, and the next minute he was the devil, abusing me. I have bruises all over my body. These are some of the marks on my hands. He feels like he's untouchable. And now I know for a fact, after last night and me sounding like this, he's gonna kill me. He is 6'3", like I said, 230-something pounds. I'm 5'4", 128. He had all his weight on me, choking me out, screaming in my face. He spit and blew snot in my face while he was choking me and said, "Yeah, bitch, you can't breathe, huh? You can't fucking breathe. You're a black bitch and no one's going to believe you. I'm a white man in America. You can die." And they won't blink an eye. And you know what? I believe him.
You should have finished the job. Because you women, man, what the hell is your problem? Like, getting with these devils, like, what the hell? Like, I just can't understand it. Like, when you get to really understand how these devils are, it's like, why? Why would you get with them? She said he was so sweet as apple pie. 1 minute, next minute choking her out. What the scriptures say, though, he go crouching and humbling himself. Beware, take good heed of him and beware of him. And you're gonna see that his rust ain't been wiped away. You know, the devil that the Bible speaks of, man. Check this one out.
This one need a whole lot of attention, y'all, because apparently white men that beat up black women don't deserve a whole lot of attention, even when they famous. This right here is now former Seattle Seahawks offensive lineman Chad Wheeler, who was arrested on January 22nd for suspicions of domestic violence.
He looks like he's noosed a couple niggas in his life, man. I mean, if you look closely at them, just look at him. Does he look like somebody that has a tendency to get violent? Of course he does, man. You give Chad a 6-pack of beer, right, and get him all riled up on Trump's energy, this man gonna go out and on a nuisance spree, man. I mean, you can just look in their eyes and tell they ain't right. That they have the tendency to be violent, man.
As per the reports, he choked his girlfriend, dislocated her arm, and even smashed her face in. She apparently refused to bow to him, eliciting his violent reaction.
See, that's the thing about Edomites. That's why the cops are the same way. They always try to make you submit to their authority, man. They always make you crouch down and be a good submissive. You know, they exert their authority over you, and they're proud and wicked, man. And that's the same thing he tried to do with her, because he's, you know, preying on Eve's insecurities, because Eve is insecure as hell. Let's just put that out there, man. Okay, that's a known fact. Eve is insecure as hell, and what Esau does is he's the type that likes to prey on weakness. Why you think the Trump and his administration are trying to go around and bully everybody, taking Venezuela and bullying Cuba, bullying Iran, trying to bully Iran? Okay, that ain't going too well. It's because they always think that they can get over on weaker people, man. Okay, that's just how they are by nature. They prey on people's weakness. Okay, and Eve, you know, being, for one, the woman being a weaker vessel, and for two, Eve is insecure as hell, man. Caking herself up with makeup, everything fake on her, fake ass hair. Okay, it's because they're insecure. Okay, and he's probably then seen his wife looking, you know, how she naturally does without all that stuff on, and he's probably thinking, you know, I'm just gonna take advantage of her weakness. This girl's insecure. He probably knows she's insecure, man. You can't trust these devils, man.
He was released on a $400,000 bond, y'all. And my sister Taylor Rooks on Twitter said it best. Seahawks Chad Wheeler isn't being discussed much, but this should be. There are absolutely terrifying accusations of felony domestic violence against his girlfriend. He was arrested and then released on bond.
Yeah, because the scriptures say that they're not in trouble as other men. You know, let me go ahead and bring that out quick. This won't take long, because that's in the book of Psalms. Oops, that's apocrypha. Let me see. Book of Psalms, not Proverbs, Psalms, chapter 73. Right. It says, let's start here at verse 3. Psalm 73 and 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked. See, because these Edomites, the so-called white men, are on top in the society. They stole the world. The Lord allowed them to do that to fulfill prophecy. And now everybody's kissing the ground they walk on because these people appear to be, you know, what's the way I can put it? They appear to be, you know, above us when really they're not. It's just the Lord put us at the bottom to punish us. These people are known as the basest of men, according to the Holy Bible. Read it in the book of Daniel, chapter 4 and 17. The Lord calls them the basest of men, meaning the bottom of the barrel, the scum of the earth. Okay, but you know, some of our people are envious at them. The foolish and the wicked is talking about the same people, the Edomite, the so-called white man. But our people be envious of them because they're winning. They're at the top. They're having fun because this is their kingdom. Ours is coming next. All you got to do is be patient. The Lord is doing his thing with this World War III. Verse 4, Psalm 73 and 4. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. So this is why our people are envious of them, man, because they're winning. It says they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. That's why they get out on bond all the time, and the judge is more lenient with them, you know, more forgiving of them, gives them a little slap on the wrist for all types of violent behavior and, you know, fiddling with little kids and all that, man. And they just get off with a slap on the wrist in a lot of cases. Not all, but in a lot of cases, they get off way more than us. It says they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. It says, therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain. See, they wear their pride like a chain. They're the proud. The Bible calls them most proud. It says, oh, most proud. Okay. They're I mean, all you got to do is watch them closely and you can see that they're just proud as hell. And the Lord hates pride, you know. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, and violence covereth them as a garment, you know, because these people are at top and they get off with a slap on the wrist. So they're like, yeah, this is our world. We can do what we want. There's a video, famous clip of a man getting tackled by, I guess, TSA or something at the airport. And he's like, hey, I can't believe you're doing this to me. You're treating me like a black guy. Because when they get in a bit of trouble, they can't believe it's happening to them because it don't normally. You know, these people just seem to get off all the time, scot-free. It says their eyes, verse 7, their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than the heart could wish because they stole the earth. It says they are corrupt, right? Who's the biggest politicians and stuff in the world, man? Anytime you see a politician, it's more than likely a pink Edomite because they're corrupt. Can you trust a politician? No, they're all corrupt. And who are the main politicians? These Edomites. It says they're corrupt and they speak wickedly concerning oppression. We say, you know, Black Lives Matter. They come back with all lives matter. We say, I can't breathe. And then you got these cops in New York lined up with a shirt saying, I can breathe. It's like, come on, man. They just throw it in our face. They say, we ain't oppressed. They say, he shouldn't have been resisting, you know? All they do is speak wickedly concerning oppression. They say, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. They don't consider that, you know, there's systems of oppression that they've set up that keep us down. But they say that we have equal opportunity, that we're just lazy. It says they speak loftily, which means proud. The loft is like the top of your house, isn't it? The attic, the loft. So loftily means they speak high-mindedly. They speak with, you know, with their nose up in the air. It's just dealing with pride. I think that's it on that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. Okay, we don't need to go any further on that. But I got another clip that you're gonna find very interesting. Check this out, man.
This sister's white husband used to slap the shit out of her just so. I'm gonna show you in a minute how he had her black ass reliving slavery. Roll back the Civil War and civil rights like her motherfucking ancestors ain't fought for nothing. She recorded this while they were still married. She's just now telling her story.
Look, why would Eve, man, you women. Like, what is it about him that attracts you? This scrawny white boy, violent, the type to call you nigger online, and then you meet him in face to face, and this man will run. That's what I see when I look at him. But Eve thinks she's winning with a man like that. Come on, man, snap out of it. You women are through. But yet again, like I said, Esau fantasizes about being our slave, the women's slave master. You know, when he's sleeping with her in the bedroom, he's picturing her being his bed wench, man. They get off on that. That's what goes through their head when they're sleeping with you, so-called black women. You're just a fantasy to them. But you're dumb enough to spread your legs and let him dig up all in you, man. That's shameful. Okay, that really makes you worthless to us, man, when you stoop that low. That's equivalent of sleeping with a dog.
3 years ago, she divorced this nigga like she was abolishing slavery again. She was silent during the marriage because when you date outside of your race, apparently you get so preoccupied with defending your choice that you'd even pretend to be happy when you're not, just to deny people on the outside the chance to say, I told you so. And I'm seeing a lot more people come forward nowadays. But this one, he did this all the time, cosplaying as her slave master.
I will put you out there in that hot box now. I'll put you out there for about 4 or 5 days now. But you done good now. You done clean the big house. You done cleaned up real nice now. Go outside, get you a little bit of daddy's pipe now. Cup of smoke. And come on back in and do the frogs now, child. You lucky you get extra diesel tonight.
Come on, Eve, man. What the hell are you doing? Can you believe he said that? Like, she's still stuck with him.
Sisters.
But you done good now. You
Hold on, let me run that back.
Cosplaying as her slave master.
I will put you out there in that hot box now. I'll put you out there for about 4 or 5 days now. But you done good now. You done clean the big house. You done cleaned up real nice now. Go outside, get you a little bit of daddy's pipe now. Cup of smoke. And come on back in and do the frogs now, child. You lucky you get extra diesel tonight.
Eve, you deserve that. That's what you want. You go ahead, girl. Look. Now, I want to show you something, because this woman right here, that's why I titled this video here, Eve Gets It. Now, this woman right here is the type of woman that has a head on her shoulders. She's thinking correctly. And I applaud this woman for what she said. I like this clip right here. Check this out, man. Because this is exactly, she's 100% on the money when she says what she says. Check this out.
Okay, this is a really random, unpopular opinion, but it's been on my mind really heavy. I feel like sometimes as Black women, we forget that the system was never created for Black men. You know, we are so hard on Black men, and we forget that they literally freed our men and just was like, figure it out. But when the European bums came over from Europe to America to seek refuge here, they gave them land, they gave them a place to stay, they gave them grants, they gave them all these things, but they freed these Black slaves and basically left us to fend for ourselves. And then us as women, because we're wired to be provided for, we're looking at our Black men who's never had any kind of support because the system was not built for our Black men in America. And we're like, okay, well, we're freed now, take care of us. And I know a lot of women are probably going to be like, oh, well, they got to figure it out. But I ain't going to lie, y'all. As Black women, we got to remember the system was not made for our men. The system was not created for our men. We got to be easier on our men. That's what I'm telling y'all. When I was younger, I used to be against all of that, helping my man pay the bills and help da-da-da-da. When I get married, I'm setting my husband up for success. Because The system, America, this government, set black men up for failure the moment they freed them slaves and didn't give them anything. They didn't give them 10 acres and a mule. They didn't give them money. They didn't give them anything to properly provide for their family.
Yeah, man, she was on the money. You know what I mean? Because, you know, this system was set up against the so-called black man and the woman, you know, at first, but eventually, you know, the woman got given feminism and she took it. Feminism was handed to her on a platter, which was a deception. And Eve was all for that, man. She jumped right in there, right? What was the scripture I was about to bring out? I forget. Slipped my mind. You have to forgive me. It's like 2:45 a.m. over here, and I'm tired. It's like the best time for me to bring out lessons like this, though, because my life is just so busy. But you know, this system was set up against us, and you know, Eve, this Eve in particular, I wish all Eves understood that, because they look down on us, these women that get with these so-called white men. They look down on us and call us brokies and dusty and bums and all that and deadbeats. But what they don't understand is that, you know, our men are destroyed, okay? And Esau's winning because he set up systems that make himself succeed and our people fail. But it's all the curses of Deuteronomy, okay? Now, I want to quickly bring out the book of Micah. I think this is the one I wanted. Micah 2 and 10. Micah 2 and 10 says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest." See, this place was never designed for it to be our rest. This isn't our resting place. This is the land. This is our captivity. The scriptures in the book of Baruch talk about, I forget which chapter, it could be Baruch 2 or 3, but it says that we are yet to stay in our captivity. You know, this right here is not our rest. So we got to depart from it mentally. Obviously, we can't depart. We got to be here and live on this earth, but we got to take our mind out of this place, right? Not follow the ways of this place. We got to follow the ways of the Lord. And because this ain't our rest. This place was never designed for us to benefit, for us to succeed. You know, our people got to try twice as hard as these so-called white people to make it in this world. And they point a finger at us like we're just worthless because, you know, we got men that are meant to be doctors or lawyers that are working at McDonald's. It's because the system wasn't set up for them to succeed like that. Okay, everything's against us. And that's not me reaching or chatting rubbish. That's true, 100% true. Okay, it says because it is polluted. So this is not our rest. It says because it is polluted, it shall destroy you, even with the sword of destruction. That's if you trust in this place, man. This place will destroy you. Okay, because it was never designed to benefit the so-called black man. But Eve looks at Esau winning and thinks that, you know, looks down on us like, why ain't you on his level? You know, play this
I hope y'all are embarrassed by what this man about to say.
Ladies, this one is for you. So we have thousands of you in our inbox and you're all looking for white men. What I'm going to tell you, don't date a white man just for status. A white man is not going to change your life. We are just the same as a black guy. A white man can be broke. A white guy can cheat. A white man can have a wife and pretend he is not married.
Hello?
So he can have another girlfriend. So we are exactly the same as the black race. So please do not come in my inbox saying you just want a white guy because you think your life will change just by dating this white guy. It won't.
It won't.
A lot of white guys are broke. A lot of white guys are cheaters. So this is what I've come on here to say today to you ladies, especially because a lot of you are in our inbox and your life will not change just by dating a white guy. Thank you. Take care.
The fact that this white man feels so comfortable to get online and make this video to tell y'all desperate Debbies to get out of white men's inbox, get out their comments, they not gonna elevate your life, they not gonna be no better than a black man. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. If you feel like white men are better than black men, if you've ever said, I'm about to start dating outside of my race, you don't get to celebrate Black History Month no more. You're done, okay? What's today? The 10th? You're done. You're done. You ain't even get halfway through. Y'all should genuinely be ashamed. If you are going behind, chasing behind pink meat, you need to be ashamed, okay? And you don't get to celebrate Black History Month no more because I said so. You're done.
Effing done, son. Talking about pink meat. That made me laugh. Anyway, let me show you what another instance of these violent men and what they do to our women. All right, I want to play. I don't know which one I'm going to play first out of these two. Probably this one.
I do want to address, you know, I think part of my job sometimes is to make sure that I am, I don't want to say educating, but I'm because I'm not going to lie to you, I've had some individuals say, well, Judge.
So for those that don't know, that violent devil that you're seeing in the image right now, I mean, look at him, man. Like, what does Eve see in men like that? Come on, man. Like, really? What the hell, man? That's why we don't care. If you're dumb enough to get with a man that looks like that, a violent Edomite, I mean, you just look in his eyes, man. That's a violent man right there. You give him a badge and a gun, or let him join ICE, and you just sit back and watch, okay? Sit back and observe who he really is, okay? Because they'll tell Eve anything and take her out on dates and all that, and Eve be thinking she's winning out here, man. Simple. But anyway, what this guy did, he shot his wife and then reloaded the clip, shot her again, and then spit on her body. And then she was like dying slowly, choking, and her kids had to watch it or something like that. And the judge gave him 20 years, but watch the way the judge is speaking to him, almost like he didn't want to do it. It's just because of the nature of it and the videos he saw, he was like, it was just horrible. He had to do it. But he really seemed like he was having such sympathy for this devil. Okay, and I got scriptures that I want to bring out after this clip.
Couldn't you just do away with what the jury did? I mean, things of that nature. No, I can't. Our laws are that the juries came back with a manslaughter first. I can't change that to anything else. I can't change that to murder. I can't set aside that jury determination. What I can do, and I will at this point in time, is I'm going to adopt the jury's recommendation of the maximum sentence. They recommended 20 years. I'm going to give you the maximum of 20 years. I think it's appropriate in this case. I think it's appropriate for for several reasons, for the violent nature of the offense. I certainly saw the video more times than I wanted to, probably more times than anybody should, ruling on various motions. We saw it at trial. I think we actually saw it during jury deliberations. The heinous nature of the offense committed obviously was terrible in nature. I'll probably never get it out of my thoughts. Poor Ashley laying there on the ground, making those type of noises. I mean, just because I'm wearing this black robe doesn't mean that things don't have an effect on you. And seeing the video, well, I asked Mr. Williams how the children are. I mean, that the children were exposed to that. That has to be something that, I mean, it'll stick with me. So it's got to stick with them. Thinking about, I think the one daughter was upstairs, even watching it out of the window. The other ones hearing it, not knowing what was going on, not knowing whether that you were going to shoot them and kill them. I could not imagine being that age, seeing all that, hearing all that going on. For those reasons, I'm going to give you the maximum in this case, the 20 years. I will withhold ruling on the defense motion per the statute. Again, I can hear additional evidence. It will be evidence that's heard at a hearing, and then I'll make rulings at the appropriate time in that regard. And I'll withhold entering the judgment because I'm required to do so. I have to make all those rulings together because that'll start your appeal time for anything that you believe would be appropriate for appeal. For purpose of the sentencing, I hereby sentence you to the jury's recommendation to the manslaughter first, to the maximum period of years, to 20 years. And I'll have your hearing on your motion for the domestic violence exception to the parole eligibility at that date. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
He sounded like he wanted to buy him a Burger King or something, man. You know, the way he was talking to that boy. Right? It's the book of Zechariah, chapter 11 and 4, starting at 4. It says, "Thus saith Yahweh my power, feed the flock of the slaughter." And that's what we do when we bring out these lessons, okay? We're giving you that spiritual food that you need to live, okay? Because we're the flock of the slaughter. We've been delivered as sheep to the slaughter when we came on them slave ships to these lands that we don't belong in, living around these devils, having a tiptoe around them, okay? And now these people are leading us to nuclear war. We're literally led to the slaughter. That's why we need the deliverer, who is Yahweh Shai, the Son of the Most High, the world ignorantly calls Jesus, okay? But we're the flock of the slaughter, and what we do is we're supposed to feed, as men, we're supposed to feed the flock of the slaughter by doing lessons such as these, right? It says in Zechariah 11 and 5, it says, "Whose possessors slay them," okay? Because these people possess us. We're under that. We're still yet this day in our captivity. These people have us in slavery still, okay? Then we might not have yokes of iron on us anymore, okay? When you had the civil rights movement and all that, like, our people think we're free, but really they cunningly went from enslaving us to enslaving everybody through the Federal Reserve System and the banking system. Now everyone's a debt slave, and we're just in this big open air prison, man. Because the paychecks you get, you're using that to buy a car that takes you to the plantation to make these people rich. You know, keeping a roof over your head. You ain't got damn part to piss in. You barely making ends meet. Everything going up and up. We're the flock led to the slaughter, man. And now possessors, right? It says, "Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty," because they are the judge. They are the lawyers, the jury, the DA. They're the people that are in basically ruling the court system, man. So when they kill us, they hold themselves not guilty. And in this case, the reason I wanted to bring this out is because that clip you just saw, you see how lenient they were being with that Edomite. Yeah, they had to throw the books at him and give him 20 years, which he'll probably get off like in 10 for good behavior. But in a lot of cases, you know, they get a slap on the wrist. Okay, because they hold themselves not guilty. It says, "And they that sell them say, Blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich." So because they're winning and they're at the top, they think the Lord is actually dealing with them because they haven't received their judgment yet. So, okay, so the ones that sold us, they that sell them, it says, "And they that sell them say, Blessed be the Lord." They're all up in the churches praising Jesus, who isn't, you know, who is a false God. I'm not saying the Son of the Lord don't exist, but Jesus is not his name, and he didn't, you know, they're not worshiping the God of the Bible and the Son of the Most High, who, you know, they're worshiping a false God. So they think the Lord is dealing with them because they're rich, because they're on top. It says, "And their own shepherds pity them not." So our shepherds, the one that's supposed to be teaching us the truth, they ain't got no pity on us. You know, the Christian pastors, you know, these politicians and these people like Jesse James and Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, you know, they just do the bidding, for the most part, they do the bidding of the so-called white man. which is to keep us oppressed, keep the white man above us, the so-called white man above us. So they don't pity us, man. Otherwise, they'd be doing things with their money, that tithe money that they got. Instead of buying these flashy cars and jets and houses and mansions, they'd be doing things to, fix up their community or whatever. But they don't do that. Anyway, that's it on that. Let me just check the comment board real quick. Let's see. I'll just bring out a few of these precepts. It says, this woman counting as a dog. Yeah, we brought that out. GMS in his likeness says Eve is the biggest coon for Eve. That's right. She is, man. That's the reputation she's gained, okay? All online, on the internet, talking crap about us as if all we do is just beat women and we're broke and we're just losers and we just leave our children. Yeah, I'm going to bring out a precept in Deuteronomy, okay? Because the scripture said that our men would leave our children, our women will be wicked toward us, which is feminism. It's all in there, okay? Because these are major issues. Why would it not be biblical? If we're the Lord's people and we got these things that are holding us back, why would it not be in the Bible? Of course it is. It's just Christianity. Your shepherds, your Christian pastors are not going to teach you the truth that you need to know. Right? GMS in his likeness says Jake would have got called everything wicked under the sun, then given 3 life sentences. Yeah, you saw how that judge was talking to that Edomite. Like he was feeling sorry for him, man. I'm surprised, like I said, I'm surprised he didn't go take him to Burger King and buy him a damn burger, a Whopper or whatever, man. He looked like he wanted to. They probably did before he went to jail, before he went to the cell. Don't worry, we're going to take you to Burger King. Because they're not plagued like other men. Just like I brought out earlier in, what was it? Psalm 73. This is GMS in his likeness, Isaiah 1 and 5. Why should ye be stricken anymore? Good precept. It says, ye will revolt more and more. The whole head is sick and the whole heart is faint. Yeah, well, our people are through, basically, man. The whole head is sick, meaning that our people as a whole are in a very messed up condition in their mind, man. They're through. Their mind is destroyed. The whole head is sick and the whole heart faint. The heart is the mind. La'ab. Yeah, our people are not right in the head. That's why Eve is deceived into thinking that she's winning and that the grass is greener on the other side with these Edomites, man. But at the end of the day, if you're going to be foolish enough to go with these Edomites, then he can have you. It's no loss to us. Okay? Because at the end of the day, even if we was to get with a heathen woman, we still produce Israelite children. But it's not the same with you women. This is something that you need to understand. But you'll get that understanding if you cleave to the truth, the Bible, not Christianity. Okay? Because the Bible will tell you that, the seed of the father, that you are who your father is. The father carries the seed. That's why the sperm has life in it. It swims to the egg. The egg just sits there lifeless until the sperm enters it. We're the bringers of life. We're the ones that produce nations. The women seem to think it's all about them when they're just a walking incubator, okay? Because they were literally put here to serve us. And that's a part of them serving us, is carrying that baby for 9 months. Yeah, it's unpleasant, but it wasn't meant to be like that from the beginning. And in the kingdom of heaven, it won't be like that. Pregnancy ain't going to be painful in the kingdom. It's going to be pleasurable, and we're going to spit out. We're going to produce many babies, man, because our women are going to be in order, and we can't wait for that day. But our women, as it stands now, they don't believe it. That's why the Bible says here in Micah chapter 7 and I'll go to the chapter. Where is it? She that is my enemy, right there. Let's actually start up a bit, right? Let's start at 7. Micah 7:7. Therefore, I will look unto Yahweh. I will wait for the power of my salvation. My God will hear me. So that's what we're doing. We're patiently waiting for the Lord to take us out this hellhole where we can get our women back, man. When they can get in their right mind, because the whole head is sick as it stands now. But our women are going to be back in their right mind in the kingdom, man. And it starts during Jacob's trouble. So Micah 7:8 says, "Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh shall be a light unto me." So this what and the woman is counted as our enemy on this side, okay? And I'm not talking about you women in order. I have to keep reminding you, okay, before you get offended. But if you've been watching our videos long enough, then you know that the shoe don't fit, and we ain't talking about you, because we do love our women, but we dislike them shameless women that are counted as a dog, because you're our enemy. So it says, "Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy." And that's what these women are doing, man, because Jake is in a low place because of the systems of oppression that have been set up to cause us to be on the bottom. So they're rejoicing against us, like, "You brokies, get your money up. Men ain't shit. Black girl magic, we the prize." All of that, man. We've heard it all. But they rejoicing against us. It says, "Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy, when I fall," which we've fallen because we're under the curses. It says, "When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness," which our people as a whole are in now. It says, "Yahweh shall be a light unto me," and that light is coming through the men that He sent in these end times, the elders and the apostles that the Lord has sent. Okay. The people you love to hate. We're showing you the light and the way to, get your mind back so that you can see things clearer. Micah 7:9, it says, "I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against them." So our women being ratchet, twerking, and damn embarrassment, loud as hell, sounding like some damn hyenas, a pack of hyenas, fighting in the street, twerking in front of children on tables in restaurants, just being a damn embarrassment, man. That's the indignation of the Lord. The Lord put us in that low place, okay, and rightfully so, because of what we did, what our forefathers did, which our people love to praise our ancestors. Our ancestors weren't shit. It says, "I will bear the indignation of Yahweh," which indignation means righteous anger, because the Lord is righteous for being angry with us and putting us into slavery. It says, "I will bear the indignation of Yahweh because I have sinned against them." So it takes humility to acknowledge, your wrongs, your sins, and why we are in the position we're in. It's not humble for you to be blaming the Lord. If there was a God, then why did we go into slavery? Because a lot of people think in that way because they lack understanding and they're not humble enough to admit that we were the ones that fucked up. It says, "Because I have sinned against him until he plead my cause." And right now, we're pleading with the Lord to, forgive us, have mercy on us, and get us out of this place. Give us our women back, give them their hair back. It says, "Until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me." And now he's doing that in the valley of decision. He's bringing them to the valley of decision, where he's going to judge the heathen for what they did to us. So he's about to execute his judgment on these heathen for what they did to us, and we're patiently waiting. It says, "He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness." And that's where we're at now, because we've come into the knowledge of the truth, and we're beholding the righteousness of the Lord, man. And we're witnessing all the things that he's doing and the things that he said he would do. We're witnessing him keeping his end of his promise, man. Keeping his word. It says, "Then she that is mine enemy shall see it." See, the Bible calls the woman on this side our enemy. And like I said, like I keep having to remind you, it's not all women. It's you women that don't know what's going on. You women that are just out there in the world, living in pleasure, and being shameless, man, being a damn embarrassment. You're our enemy. So it says, she that is my enemy shall see it, right? She's going to see, how the Lord exalts us, and she's going to witness the day of the Lord. She's going to witness Jacob's trouble, all the things that we've been prophesying about, the famine that's coming, the system collapse. But, she's living like she's always going to, be on top, because the woman, this society is more catered to the woman than it is the man. Because a woman, all she has to do is get her breasts out, and men are just throwing money at her, paying her bills, all these simps. It says, then she that is my enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her which said unto me, where is the Lord thy power? Okay, because we've been prophesying about the day of the Lord, and these women don't have the patience that us men do. So they want to, women like to have fun, they like to be comfortable, they like to live in pleasure, they like to go on holidays and all that, more than us men anyway. Us men are workers. We work to provide for our woman so that she can have the nice things and all that. But she's sitting back like, okay, where's the promise of the Lord's coming? And she may not say it with her lips, but her actions is saying it, because she act like she don't believe. It says, mine eyes shall behold her. Now shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Mire is like a bog, like a swamp. So when it says the mire of the streets, it just means like the dirt in the streets, man. Okay, so she's going to be trodden down like dirt in the streets. Okay, because when the system collapses, boy, it's going to be twice as bad for women than it is for us men. Because you women, you're not going to have the police to fall back on. You're going to have all types of men that are thirsty as hell, that are going to be having their way with you. Because if they're strong enough to pin you down, which in most cases they are, then you're through out here, man. And your little pea shooter ain't gonna protect you. It ain't, might hold you down you might get out of one sticky situation here and there, but trust me, man, you're gonna run out of bullets eventually. So, in order to be truly protected in these days we're coming into, you have to have the Lord, and you have to have the truth. You have to have a man of the Lord also, to, unless the Lord shows mercy on you. But trust me, it'd be wise to have a man of the Lord, because that's going to be the prize in this day we're coming into. Okay, because the men of the Lord are going to be protected. Even we're going to need protection. It's going to be that bad. But the men of the Lord are going to be protected, and women are going to have to cleave to that man of the Lord. What is that? Is that Isaiah 32? Or is it Jeremiah? I always get confused. I think, here we go. Isaiah 32:2, it says, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, a man of the Lord. And ain't no Edomite, so-called white man, no man of the Lord. They ain't gonna protect you. And as a matter of fact, they're gonna be the biggest ones kidnapping you and tying you up in their basement and doing all kind of experiments on you, and torturing you, and chopping you up and scattering your body parts everywhere. That's what these Edomites are like. Okay, so when they ain't got nothing holding them back, ain't nothing stopping them, which the Bible says, the course of a man's desire shall be in his power, or something like that. I forget exactly how it goes. The course of his actions shall stand in their power. That's because the police ain't gonna be able to stop nobody, man. The police are probably gonna be the ones doing the most of the kidnapping, because they're professional kidnappers as it is. So when they ain't got their badge, when they ain't got their uniform on, and they're out there after the system collapses, you ain't gonna be able to call 911, because they're gonna be the ones out there that you're gonna need protection from. It says, and a man shall be as a hiding place from the wind, and a covert from the tempest as rivers of a water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. So if you read that with understanding, you understand that basically it's saying that a man is going to be your protection in these perilous times we're coming into, and not just any man, but a man of the Lord, a man that is being protected from on high. Okay, so if we jump down just a little bit, we're going to close this out in just a minute. It says, Isaiah 32:9, it says, rise up, ye women that are at ease, you women that are comfortable, not paying attention to the times you're living in, and getting with Zaddy, the so-called white man, thinking that, you know, the grass is greener with him. Rise up, ye women that are at ease. Hear my voice, ye careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. And this speech is coming through his prophets, man. It says, many days and years shall ye be troubled, ye careless women. So this is a warning from the Lord that there's coming a time of great distress on you women, man. It says, for the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. Your benefits are going to be cut off. Your OnlyFans, your working at the strip club, all of that is going to fail you. This system that you trusted in that keeps you so secure. It's all about the rug is about to be pulled out from underneath you. All right. Isaiah 32:11. Tremble, ye women that are at ease. Be troubled, ye careless ones. Strip you and make you bare. Gird sackcloth upon your loins. Sackcloth represents mourning. Okay. It's a something you would wear. You used to wear for mourning and putting dust on your head and stuff. Okay. It's a sign of mourning. So you women need to be in a repentant spirit is what this is saying. Because of the things that are coming. You should be panicking right now, okay? If you're not of the hopeful elect. It says in Isaiah 32:12, they shall lament for the teats. Lament is to wail, to cry out. They shall lament for the teats, okay? The teats represents the nourishment, the benefits, you know, and the cultivated land, like the as it says here, the pleasant fields, which is like cultivated land, you know, a system that's functioning, you know, normally. They're gonna want normality to come back, what they call normality. They're gonna want things to go back to normal, right? What they call normal, so they can continue being wicked. They shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. I think that's it on that. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. So let me just quick see if I got anything else. I'm sure I got something. Oh yeah, real quick, check these double standards. Actually, this one here. We really don't need to play that. That's not necessary. It's just relating to that last clip I played. As far as that man in the courtroom, there's just a bit more info on it, but it's not really that important. But I just want to show you this, right? Because these women, man, like the scripture I just read earlier, the whole head is sick. Our women are sick in their head. Not just the women, the men too, but in this case, we're speaking about the women, right? Check this out.
If I'm walking down the street and I see a black man with a white woman, there's a weakness in him. Ooh. Something in him is weak.
What?
Let me run that back, and just in case you didn't hear it.
If I'm walking down,
in case you didn't hear it, I'm gonna run it back because on my end it seems to be coming out kind of quiet. So hopefully you guys can hear this. You Akim and Aquafium can hear this loud and clear. But check this out, man. Check what she says.
if I'm walking down the street and I see a black man with a white woman, there's a weakness in him. Ooh. Something in him is weak.
What? Okay.
When I see a black woman with a white man, despite all the historical context that we know that sits behind that, I think, oh, she must have got just, she's tired. Like she must have got so fed up that she's getting to rest now.
You can't make this shit up, people.
Stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Stop the cap.
You can't make it up, you know? The double standards is unreal. And I've got one more where that came from. Check out what this girl says.
I think if you give us a black Republican with a black wife, we'll probably be more accepting to it. Most of them be black with white wives. And after you know for a fact with us.
I think that's what got Obama in office.
Michelle did that. Michelle single-handedly.
Barack had a white wife. I don't think he.
Oh, but Barack had a white wife. We would not. And we would not be going for him as hard as we do.
And
that's scientifically proven.
I think
Hell
that's
yeah.
why a lot of black men didn't want to. Some black men didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris too.
Because of Doug. Doug didn't bother me.
But it'll bother you if a black male have a white wife.
Mm-mm.
You just said that. What you said?
I said I think if you present it to us, I think we're more accepting to it.
What you mean presented? Like just show, hey, I got a white wife?
No. How you just asked me a black Republican? I said I think we'll be more accepting to if it's with a black wife.
No, I'm saying, but what if he had the right message and everything, but he had a white wife?
You have to work a little bit harder.
But confident.
Because here is the thing. It goes to that thing of how can you choose black for everything but your love? I think that's really what it goes back to.
So why is not the standard for Kamala?
Unfortunately, we have that
Double
that standard
for women.
higher for men than we do for women. I can call that out, right? Because I can be the first. I'll say any day of the week. If I see a black man with a white woman, I'm like, that's that deep ass self-hate, my nigga. You need to do something about that, right? Flip that same coin. I see my sister with a man, I'm gonna say girl, go where you love. So I get that. And I can honestly say that's a bias. I probably need to check. Do I plan on checking it today? Hell no.
You need to.
Do I plan on checking it in 10 years? Probably hell no. I don't give a damn.
I call them wenches.
You can call me a wench all day long. I don't give a damn. You know how many wenches you got in your life? All of us. Because we probably all say the exact same thing, honey.
She's proud, man. She's proud, and the whole head is sick. These women, man, like the double standards is unreal. But you heard it from the horse's mouth, okay? So let me see if I got anything else. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it, really. So yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. But anyway, I'm gonna close it out here, man. Oh, Kaltawab Thawada, Atazawam, hopeful alert. Yeah, as far as whether or not it was coming out loud enough, I imagine that's what you're speaking about. Yeah, so I'm gonna leave that there anyway, man. You know, been over 2 hours now. But yeah, I just had to bring that out because over time I've been gathering a compilation of videos that I wanted to bring to your attention and just show you how, you know, the scriptures say the whole head is sick. It was clear. Okay, the water for that. I tell you why I'm hopeful of that. But yeah, you know, because, you know, Eve out here thinking the grass is greener on the other side because we're under curses. And as a matter of fact, I didn't bring that out. Let me close it out with that. It won't take 1 second. I'm just going to bring, because I got that on deck, to be fair. This is Deuteronomy 28 and 54. It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, because that's what our people naturally are by nature, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, right? That's black on black crime, Latino on Latino crime and all that, you know, cartels and things like that. You know, our people are evil toward, you know, our brothers. This is all the curses, man. Okay, that's why they say, oh, you know, why are you complaining about white men killing you when you people kill each other all the time? That's Esau speaking loftily. But and no, although it's true, it's just we're under curses. We're not really like that by nature. That's why it says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, that's our true nature. Okay. It says, his eye shall be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, because you know you have a lot of violence from our men. I'm not saying that our men are perfect. It's just not quite as they portray. You know, these women are portraying. Okay, because they too busy picking the wrong men. That's all that comes down to. It says, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, it says, which he shall leave. That's why these women are single mothers, because it's all here in the Bible. You know, the Bible speaks about how, you know, we would be violent toward our children and toward our wife, the wife of our bosom, and we would leave our children. Okay. But it also goes on to say in verse 56, it says, Deuteronomy 28 and 56, that the tender and delicate woman among you, because that's our women's natural, our women are naturally tender and delicate, so that the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward her husband, toward the husband of her bosom. That's feminism. It says, and toward her son and toward her daughter. So she's become wicked toward her children because they use the children to get back at the man. Okay, because it's just a vicious cycle. The man will leave the woman because we're under curses. Okay, we're in a very low place in this kingdom, in this world. And the Lord did all this to us, man. Okay, but it's righteous anger. But the Lord is getting ready to have mercy on us and flip these curses on our enemies. But you got to recognize that you have enemies, Eve, and get the hell away from them. Okay, because the scriptures speak about separate from your enemies and take heed of your friends. You know, roughly paraphrasing. But this is just a quick precept to prove that the so-called white man is our enemy. In Deuteronomy 28 and 68, it says, and the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, shall bring thee into Egypt, which Egypt represents bondage, or America, because America is known as spiritual Egypt, spiritual Sodom and Egypt. Okay, so the Lord will bring us into slavery, basically, again, with ships. It says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. It says, thou shalt see it no more again. And there ye shall be sold, right? Weren't we sold on auction blocks? There ye shall be sold unto who? It says, unto your enemies. Okay, so these so-called white people that possess us right now, okay, because we're not in our own land. We talk like them. We dress how they, you know, with the clothing that they provide. We listen to the music they give us. We're in the hands of our enemies even to this day. So it says, there ye shall be sold unto your enemies. It says, for bondmen and bondwomen, which means slave man and slave woman. It says, and no man shall buy you. And of course, you know, people were buying slaves left, right, and center. That's why it says ye shall be sold unto your enemies. But why it says no man shall buy you is because you have many people that rose up to try and redeem us from our condition, and no man is going to free us or redeem us from our captivity other than Yahweh Shai, who is the redeemer, the deliverer. And he's the one that we got to wait on patiently to reverse these curses, okay? Because the Lord said he was going to put all these curses that he put on us, he's going to put them on our enemies. That's why you're seeing the downfall of the so-called white man right now. It's all biblical. It's all in there, okay? But yeah, I ain't gonna be a dead horse, man. This lesson's gone on long enough, so I'm gonna close it out there. Hold on one sec. And oh yeah, Khan, the water for that. Let me bring that out real quick. Baruch 3 and 8. This is what I was speaking about earlier. It says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity. So even today, as I'm speaking, right, we're in our captivity. This is not our rest, like it says in Micah 2 and 10, which I brought out earlier, right? This arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest. This is our captivity. This place was never set up for us to make it. This is like our punishment. So see it for what it is and just be patient and get through it. Work your little 9 to 5. Don't make any future investments in this world, especially knowing the times we're living in, and understand that our Redeemer is coming to deliver us from this hellhole soon. Us men are going to get our women back. You women are going to get back in your right mind and flee from these enemies. And you're going to realize by the end of all of this that they are your enemy, okay? But it says, behold, we are yet this day in our captivity where thou hast scattered us. The Lord scattered us among these nations. You got our people in Japan, Germany, Russia, India, China, everywhere. And especially America, where thou hast scattered us for a reproach and a curse. Everybody hates us and we're a curse. We're under the curses, man. Okay, it says, and to be subject to payments. That's why you have to pay bills. You have to pay to keep a roof over your head. You have to pay for water that falls from the sky, food that grows from the earth. Okay, subject to constant payments, man. It was never meant to be like that for us. But the Lord is getting ready to deliver us from this captivity we're in, man. You're not supposed to love it here. It says, according to all the iniquities of our fathers. See, our ancestors weren't shit, man. They got us in this mess, which was ultimately us. Anyway, it says, which departed from the Lord our power. That's right. The water for that ark. He said, I was on the freeway when you quoted it, Baruch 3 and 8. Okay. Yeah. So earlier, yeah, that's why you didn't post it when I said it earlier. But it's all good. I mean, you brought it out now, and you know it does add to the lesson. And it's a very good precept to, you know, even close it out with. So the water for that, man. But anyway, I'm tired as hell. I'm gonna close it out here. It's like 3:30 in the morning over here in England, where I've been scattered, just like I brought out. So anyway, on that note, right, I'm gonna close it out here. I want to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Racha Kodash. All right, Shalom. And the water for all you brothers, man, on the comment board. You lit it up today, and it really added to the lesson. The water for that. Shalom, GMS in his likeness. Shalom, bro. Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Barakatam to all of you, you Akim and Akwaf.